Whatever you make to lift your mood, it's alright. Show you what you can do. Grab your hook and needle too. Today we're making merry. Hello, all my merry makers. I am Becca, and welcome to another Merry Making Monday. To everyone who's coming back, thanks for doing that. For anybody new here, thanks for checking me out. Merry Making Mondays are all about tutorials. Me showing you how to make something, usually crochet or knit related, hence the hook and needle in the jingle. And today we are finishing up on the pattern by Yarnspirations, the Brioche cable knit hat. I am not affiliated with Yarnspirations, but I do have their permission to do tutorials as long as I credit them, which I will, and I will also provide links to the pattern. So go ahead, grab your needles, grab your project, let's get started. Alright, so before we begin, I am gonna give you the call number that you can put into the Yarnspirations database search site if you want to do that instead of clicking on the link. I understand sometimes links can be faulty. And since we're finishing up today, in addition to your regular knitting needles, you will need your scissors and a tapestry needle. Okay. So I couldn't find my double point needles, so I got a second set of circular needles, and I think they're the same size. The ones that I have been working with are an 8, and the ones that I grabbed are an 8, so perfect. Looks like I ended right before purling these two together. So I will go ahead and do that before I do anything else. And of course, where's my tail? Let's give that a good old tug. Alright. Wait, that doesn't make sense, does it? No, that doesn't make sense. Hold on, back that thing up. Because that's a knit. Okay. Yes, I will even show you my follies so that you do not do the same. Alright. My beginning of round stitch marker had flipped over my last stitch. There's my last stitch right there, but it's missing its friend. There we go. Oops, bring it back. There we go. Now we can purl these two together. Alright. Alright. So I am going to go ahead. Row 7 is a knit row. I'm going to grab the new needles so that we can start using them as well. It starts with a double decrease brioche. So in case you've forgotten, we're going to go ahead and remove that beginning round stitch marker too, because it's just going to fall out. Slip this first stitch as if I'm going to knit it. Slip this second stitch as if I'm going to knit it. Actually knit this third stitch. Oh, hold on. There we go. Alright, actually knit this stitch and then take these stitches that I slipped and slip them back over that stitch I just knit. Okay, now we're going to bring the yarn front, slip this stitch purlwise, and make sure we create that second loop, and then we knit together these two stitches, bring the yarn front, slip this purlwise, wrap the yarn around the needle, and we do that 4 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that you can begin with your brioche decrease again. As if to knit, slip, as if to knit, slip, actually knit, grab all 3 of these loops, slip them over that one, and get ready to brioche knit again. Alright, so you're going to do that all the way around. When you're about halfway, switch to your other set of needles so that you can have, so that there's no laddering. We'll meet you at the beginning. Alright. So this is what it looks like after I've split up my stitches between 2 sets of circular needles. And in case you're wondering, this is called using two circular needles at the same time. It's basically the same thing as using 4 double points, except for these things are connected, and that makes them a lot harder to lose. Alright, so now we are going to be doing a purl row. And I will step through that real quickly, even though we've stepped through it before, in case you need a refresher. Alright, so we are going to bring the yarn front, slip this first stitch as if to purl, wrap the yarn around the needle, making that second loop, and then we purl these 2 stitches together. And you are going to do that all the way around, switching needles when necessary. I will meet you there. Alright. So here we are on row 9, which is a knit row. I'm going to grab that purple yarn for me. Alright. And we are going to we're going to knit regular twice, it says. So, knit 2 together. Bring the yarn front, slip the stitch purlwise, that's 1, that's 2. Now we do a double decrease, as if to knit, slip, as if to knit, slip, actually knit. Take these 3 loops, slip them back over the needle, bring the yarn front, slip it purlwise, wrap it around the needle, and then regular knit 2 together and slip. And that is the whole repeat. So I'm going to go through it one more time. Knit 2 together once, twice, brioche double decrease, as if to knit, slip, as if to knit, slip, actually knit, grab 3 loops, slip, all back over, bring the yarn front, slips purlwise, wrap it around, and knit. You're going to do that all the way around until you reach the end of your second set of needles. I will meet you there. Alright. So row 10 is a purl row where you just regular purl. I'm sorry, I should say where you regular brioche purl. So bring the yarn front, slip that first stitch purlwise, wrap the yarn around the needle, creating that second loop. Bring it all the way front so that you're ready to purl the next 2 stitches together. And one more time, bring the yarn front, flip the stitch purlwise, wrap the yarn completely around the needle so that you're ready to purl the next 2 stitches together. And you're going to do that all the way around. I will meet you in the next row. Alright, row 11 is our last decrease row. We are going to knit the first 2 stitches together. Bring the yarn front, slip the next stitch purlwise, bring it back over the needle to create that second loop. Then we brioche double decrease. We're going to act like we're going to knit and slip. We're going to act like we're going to knit and slip, actually knit, and we grab all 3 of these stitches and pass them back over the needle, the stitch that we just did. Bring the yarn front, slip the stitch purlwise, wrap the round stitch around the needle to create that second loop, and then we knit 2 together again, and we slip, and that is the end of the repeat. So I'm going to show you one more time. Knit 2 together, slip purlwise and make that second loop, double decrease where you slip, slip, actually knit, grab all 3, and pass it back over that needle, bring the yarn front, slip the stitch purlwise, and then knit 2 together and slip the next stitch. And you are going to do that all the way around. I will meet you in row 12. Alright, trying to get everything's set up here. So just as a heads up, row 12 is the very last row that we will be doing for this hat. So you might want to take a minute to grab your scissors and your darning needle if you haven't already. Okay. For some reason, it specifies with main color at the beginning of this row. And if you have, for the purposes of this tutorial, our main color has been white. It's the color we started with, and it's the one color that's remained constant. And you just work it like a regular purl row. Bring the yarn front, slip this stitch purlwise, wrap the yarn around the needle, purl the next 2 stitches together, and you're just going to keep on doing that around. Slip the stitch purlwise with the yarn in front, wrap the yarn around the needle to create that second loop, and then purl those 2 together. I'm going to do that all the way around, and then we will show you how to finish this hat. Alright, it's time to finish this project. So, the yarn that we're drawing through all the stitches, including the knit stitches, is going to be the main color. So you want to make sure that you give yourself a nice long tail. I would say maybe just a wrap or 2 around your hand should be more than enough. And then as for the purple, you just want to leave just long enough to weave it in. And I will be showing you that as well. That's not even going all the way around. Alright. So I'm going to take my main color and thread my needle. And just start slipping every stitch onto this yarn. At this point, it doesn't matter if you're slipping the stitches knitwise or purlwise. I have a tendency to do purlwise. That's just me. Whatever works for you. And we are just going through every... Now, it does say 30 stitches remain. I did not take the time to count before I bound off or started working the stitches off here. If you want to, you can. Just remember that when you come to a stitch that's knit, that is just 1 stitch. Or it usually is in brioche. This camera stand really likes to do that. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so now that we've got the work completely off the needles, we're just going to draw this up as tight as we can. And then there's two ways you could do this. You can leave a little bit of a hole so that a button can fit through if you want to do a removable palm, or you can cinch it all the way up so that you don't have to worry about a palm. Whatever floats your boat. And you're just going to go through the stitches again. Really, if you're really tightening it up. And then come back this way. And go the opposite direction. And this secures everything in place so that nothing comes out. And if you really want to be extra secure, you can find a white line of what looks like now knit and run your yarn down the side. This will both hide and secure at the same time. Come on. Once you feel like your yarn is secure enough, snip it off. Alright, now we've got these ends. Say, what do I do with these ends? Well, first of all, make sure you're not losing any stitches. And this might require a little bit of back and forth, but I try to go back to the front through the where I can see the purple poking through. That did not work. So let's try that again. Okay, there we go. Alright. And so you're going to do this with every color. You're going to do basically what we just did with the white with the color. You're going to wrap it around, going up, and you're going to wrap it around, going down, and again, this both secures and hides your ends, so nothing comes undone. And I'm going to do that with every single color. So there's another purple one I need to do that with. There's a couple of blue ones that I need to do that with. And there's a pink one that I need to do that with. So now that I'm done weaving in all my ends, this is the lovely end result. A hat that is, for all intents and purposes, 100% reversible. And that's the thing I love about two-color brioche. And again, you can use any colors that you want. You don't have to change colors if you don't want to. Just remember, whatever colors you do choose, they need to be high contrast if you want the design to stand out like this. Alright, my merry makers, that's it for this week's video. We finished the project. Hooray! Feel free to reference back to this playlist as many times as you want. If there's something you would like to learn, let me know by either commenting down below or shooting me an email. I will be leaving that in the description box below. To everybody who's joined, thank you so very much. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Even if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe comment down below. And if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. If you really like my videos, share my channel. And in the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao.